Today we will talk to you about how to supercharge your sales with trusted AI. But first of all, we need to give you a quick reminder, you shouldn't make any purchasing decisions unless it's currently generally available. So I'm assuming nobody wants another minute to read on this. But first, as a Salesforce tradition, we want to say thank you. We know the admins are the people who actually use our products day in and day out to solve real-world business problems. And as product managers, we really appreciate you taking your feedback to us. So feel free to stop us and talk to us more after the session is over. Today, these are the speakers, so we'll introduce ourselves as we start our part. My name is Ian Wang. I'm the product manager managing activity area in Sales Cloud. And let's get started. So if you have been to any of our Dreamforce or other conferences, you probably have seen us talking about these three types of AI. Predictive AI, everybody has probably have seen it for many years. It's about making predictions based on existing data. So what about generative AI? That's all the buzz since last year. And that helps you get job done by creating new content. And autonomous AI is where you don't need a human to initiate. So the machine, actually, the AI can initiate itself, kind of think, react to situations, and handle a lot of different scenarios. So it's important to actually remember all three AIs can work in tandem. For example, we can use predictive AI to prioritize leads, so you know which ones are most likely to convert and focus on. And then when you get to the lead, you can use generative AI to write that email for you to send to the lead. And autonomous AI, eventually, you don't have to do this, and they will actually kick off a prospecting process on its own based on the priority and the channel you specify. So all these can work together. And Salesforce actually pioneered AI for CRM for many years. We started in 2014 with Salesforce Einstein, if you remember. So now we are still generating 1 trillion predictions every week for all our customers. And last year we started on our generative products. We shipped many generative capabilities last year. And just last week, we just launched the Einstein Copilot, which is a conversational AI assistant, which we will show and talk about later today. So all these best of AI technologies are baked into Sales Cloud. So if you are new to Sales Cloud, I'll just quickly walk through our portfolio for you. It all started with the fundamentals at the very bottom, the fundamentals of CRM in Sales Cloud. This also includes vertical solutions with built-in industry-specific models and workflows, so that to speed up the time to value for you. And the blue bar is where the data and AI is. Data and AI are now powered by Einstein 1 platform, it's a name for it. And this is where we use data and the latest AI technologies, all three kinds, to power every part of your sales process. And let's look at the fan on top. This is your day-to-day, end-to-end sales process, that Sales Cloud offering. So you can, from the left, you can start engage your buyers. For example, using buyer assistant, self-service tools, so you can accelerate top of the funnel. You can engage your sellers by giving them prospecting tools like sales cadence, so they can really prospect at scale with a few clicks. And you want to elevate the performance of the whole team through collaboration, through dynamic coaching, and enablement, sales program to onboard new reps. And because of all these, and the data foundation we talked about, you can use analytics to discover new opportunities and stop revenue leaks through analytics. And all of this are not limited to your direct sales. You can actually expand it to bring all your partner ecosystem into this sales offering. And in addition, you can do performance management through our sales planning offering, or CPQ billing to connect the front and back offices together. So what's important in this place is really the blue bar, because all these parts of the sales processes, they not only have the best of breed capabilities, they're also connected at the data layer. So that means you don't have to purchase and maintain different tools to do different parts of the job, and then worry about how to integrate them together and consolidate your tech stack. So we have been the proud leader of the Gartner Magic Quadrant for 17 years. So we're very excited about that. And we hope we continue to be your partner in your sales AI journey. So today, we want to talk about 3 easy steps for you to get started when you go back to work with sales AI. And we want to make it very tangible. So we're going to quickly talk about what each topic looks like, and then we'll dive into a live demo to show how it looks and how to set it up. We'll also give you best practices you can take home with you to get started next week. So we'll get started with the first one, automate CRM updates and enable AI insights. So we all know good AI needs good data. By now, everybody has heard that so much. But as a sales admin, there's so much data going on around your sellers. And it's just experience tells us if you ask sellers to manually enter data, it doesn't work. At best, you get partial of your sales data in your system. So with that data, you won't be able to deliver good AI insights. Activity 360 is the unified data layer. We want to start with auto data capture. And all your data will be unified in one place. So that's your customer 360 view, which can drive any real-time AI insights for you. With Einstein Activity Capture, by the way, that's a product I have been managing for several years. We connect your seller's Outlook or Google account with Salesforce. So all the emails, meetings can be auto-captured into CRM and matched to the right CRM records, whether it's account or contacts or opportunity. So now you not only have the data, you also know which part of the CRM entities or records they're connected to. So that helps you do a lot of revenue intelligence, understanding the performance of your pipeline. And not only just emails and meetings, all those contacts, especially the new ones, every email get added to an email you're having with your known customer contact. They might bring in their colleagues into a conversation. They might be adding people to the meetings. Every time you're supposed to add those new contacts into CRM. And with Einstein Activity Capture, if a new contact shows up in one of your activities, we will automatically gather that information and make it easy for you to create those contacts. And so not just emails and meetings. We know now conversation happens on Zoom, on Teams, on Google Meet. So we have voice and video call as well to be auto-captured through our Einstein Conversation Insights offering. And we'll have our PM list to talk about that in details in our second part of the discussion. So now let's see how it works. So we know your day probably starts with checking emails. I used to before we started using Slack. So this might happen before you even open your laptop, right? You might be at home at your breakfast table. You pull out your phone and check out who has emailed you. So today, let's just say maybe assuming you're a seller, you realize, hey, one of the customer contacts you have been working with on a deal, renewal deal, she has sent an email. And you remember she talked about coming to TDX. You say, oh, let me just send a quick email, see if we can connect. So you can draft the email quickly here. I have a quick one already drafted here, and I can click send. So that email went to your contact. Later on, when you come to work and open your CRM, here is this new seller home, which you might not have seen. If you have customized your own homepage, this might not show up. You need to do some customization to bring out this homepage. But if you're a new org, this will be the default homepage for your sellers. So here, as a seller, I can get a quick overview of my deals, my accounts, where am I towards my weekly goal. But I want to draw your attention to the contact suggestion box. So look at all these email addresses. These are the emails, new contacts found in your email or in your meeting invites. And you can quickly look at them to decide, hey, let me add this. This is a valid contact, or sometimes it could be some noisy group mailing list, then you can choose to ignore and remove that suggestion. Right now, we're doing this through a suggestion, so you can have a chance to look at it and do it in one place. And you don't have to do it right away, right? You can spend an hour maybe each week to look at this and decide, maybe I want to spend a few minutes to just get my contacts in order. In a later release, we'll make it automated. So if we can figure out the names easily by looking at the email address and take a good guess at which account it is, we can auto-create these contacts for you. Well, of course, as a seller, after a brief look at the homepage, I want to go look at my opportunities. So this is probably not the list view you're very familiar with. This is called the pipeline inspection view. Similarly to the homepage, if you're new, this might be the default you already see, but if you have not been using this before, it needs a simple setup. So here you can see, as a seller, I get a consolidated view of all my important pipes, right? I can see the totals. I can see some recent changes from week to week. And of course, I can see each individual opportunities with important information here. What close date has been moved in or out? What's the Einstein scoring for this opportunity? And I can see why as well, right? Based on both positive and negative signals. And also, I can see some quick activity metrics because of Einstein activity capture is turned on. Their total number of activities in the 7 or 30 days. When was the last time I had a call with this person? With this opportunity, anybody from the account? Or when was the last time I sent the email versus when was the last time I got an email from this customer? And this is totally configurable. You can pick what metrics you care the most and put it in the list. But let's look at this. It used to be if I want to know more, I have to drill down into an individual opportunity, right? And then I have to come back and drill down to another one. And this is the pipeline inspection side panel. Here you can see more insights calculated based on all the data we have, auto-captured activities and opportunity data, and also some of the kind of the best practice opportunity average stats from your org. We can figure out, hey, there's something probably needs your attention. For example, hey, there is an objection raised in a recent call. There will be some other cases open about this account. So this is a good way to get a quick overview of the opportunity. What are the important signals we want you to be aware of? And on the activity tab, you can also get a very quick sense of what has happened in the last 7 days, and with another option for 30 days. So here I know, hey, there are 6 activities, there are 4 emails, 3 are sent by me, but at least I received a response, so it's not like a one-way communication so far, which is all good. So let me drill into the opportunity now. Okay, so this is a timeline. You can see the email I just sent a couple minutes ago now are showing up on timeline. So it's, anybody working on the deal with me can see it. And you can also see engagement information. This email hasn't been opened, so I wouldn't worry if I haven't heard back from Carol. And you can see not only emails, meetings, voice calls, they're all showing up here and matched to the opportunity. And what's amazing here in timeline, if I really want to decide, do I care about this call, I can look at all the insights and get a quick snippet on why this insight was raised for me. And so I can decide whether this is something I want to explore further. So finally, let me quickly show you where all these activities auto-captured can be available in your operational reports. So this was relatively new since 2 years ago, we shipped this. So a lot of people have, So a lot of people have said, hey, I want to auto-capture activities, but I really need them to work in my operational reports. And this is it, we did that. Just like any operational reports, customizable, you can change how you want them to look like, which fields to include, and more importantly, all the insights are also reportable. So you can look at all your deals as a leader to know what are the trending insights from your customers across all the calls. Which are the top competitors showing up. So having said, that's all I want to show about activity capture and how they can power your AI and revenue insights for you. Going back to our slides, we have a quick best practice for you to take home. To enable activity capture, first thing, you need to look at your business needs. Not everybody wants everything to be enabled. So you can decide which users are the right people to auto-capture activity and what kind of data should be captured. It could be just meetings for some regulated industries, could be meeting, emails, contacts, everything. So the decision is in your hands, and we have the flexibility to allow a combination of different groups for different needs. And from the IT department, you can work with your security team to decide what's the best way to get them connected, from all the user individual level to entire org. So depends on how fast you want to pull out, how many users you have to deal with. And for pipeline inspection, right? If you don't have enough data on your own to have your own private model, we have global model you can lean into to get started until you get enough data to really build your own private model. And finally, all of these are available in Sandbox. So always test it in the Sandbox, get business users buy-in, validation before you actually roll out to all the thousands or tens of thousands of users. So that's it. Because we have 2 more exciting topics, so I'll just stop here and hand over to Liz.
Thank you, Ying. All right, hi everyone, I'm Liz. I'm a product manager working on Einstein Conversation Insights, and I'm excited to share with you all today what we're working on. So with ECI, you can make every call a closing call. No more taking notes, no more logging these calls. ECI automatically transcribes those voice and video recordings and pulls out keywords to talk about your insights, whether that's product mentions, competitor mentions, and more. But instead of me talking about it, I want to show you. So let's dive right into the demo. So what you're seeing here is an example of a recorded call. I'm going to press play, but we don't need to hear the volume. So this was recorded between Leon and Sam. So you can see in the top left corner that there's those participants. And you can also see down here that they're color-coded for a talk-to-listen ratio. What you're also noticing on the side, hopefully, is this transcript that's automatically in sync with the call. I'm going to press pause so it's not distracting. So you don't have to take notes because there's an automatically generated transcript. So when you come back, you can always refer to that. The other thing I want to call out is this insights panel on the left. These are keywords that are pulled out of this recorded call, whether it be competitors, monologues, or key products that are out of the box for you or that you customize for your organization. And better yet, when you click on one of these insights, it automatically scrolls to where that keyword was mentioned to give you context of what was being said. And it's also highlighted on this timeline. Now, transcripts and insights are great, but what if you were reviewing this conversation, 2 weeks after you've had this call with your customer? You want a summary. You want to be fast and quick. So that's why we've created this summary tab for you. So if I click on summary, we have our little Einstein assistant, and you can, with one click of a button, you can create that summary. So let's have him think and work. And while he's doing that, I just want to point out that, here we go. So it's not just the summary that's included from Einstein. It's the customer impression. It's the sentiment. So you can see here This seemed like a positive conversation, so that's good for your sales rep. And the other thing that Einstein does for you are these next steps. So you can refer back to this conversation in 2 weeks and quickly understand what happened during the call and what do I need to do next. If you want to dive deeper into those next steps or those action items, we've created a separate tab for that. And I want to call out 2 things here. We've organized these action items into the ones that need your immediate attention because of a keyword that was mentioned or an insight or a timeline. And also, any promised follow-ups. So I'm sure your sales reps have promised you're going to send a follow-up email, follow-up meeting, and you've forgotten. But instead of adding that to your to-do list on your notes tab or wherever you are, you can do that right from where the call is. So for example, Leon promised he would send an email to Sam. You don't have to leave. You can just click send email, and it's all pulled up for you. And you can even use Einstein to draft that email. As you can see here, the opportunity is also already connected. Now, this is great and all, and it answers hopefully 90% of your sales reps' questions, but what if you have something else? The summary isn't answering that question. You could click Explore Conversation and ask Einstein any question you want about the call. So let's say here I'm wondering about what objections were raised. You can type. Einstein, as your assistant, will comb through the transcript, the summary, those insights, and immediately pull up those objections. So what you can see here is maybe Sam is concerned about the subscription needs to be approved by the corporate team. Maybe she doesn't have enough yearly budget. And you can use those insights to really understand how you're going to frame your next meeting and close and win the opportunity. The last thing I want to point out here is we also have given the opportunity for managers to surface those coachable insights. Managers can come in and leave comments right on the timeline and even tag their sales reps to review certain things. You can also add calls to collections. Let's say you're trying to onboard a new salesperson. You can add it to the enablement collection. You can add it to a best practices collection. So sales reps can understand exactly how to handle certain situations. The last thing I want to quickly talk about, and Ying brought it up too, is these video calls can automatically be connected to opportunities. So here you can see a related record of international tracked and signed. What you can see on the right in the activity is all of these voice calls and recordings pull up, and you can see the objections and the insights and pull up the actual context of that call. But what if you're less concerned about a certain call and more concerned about the opportunity as a whole? You have a meeting with a customer tomorrow and you don't remember what was said in the last one. Maybe it's been a few weeks. You can pull up all of the call summaries from all of your interactions with one click. You can expand to see the impression, the summary, and the next steps, and even explore that conversation right from the opportunity. So your sales teams never have to leave where they are. We're bringing those insights to them. Last thing I want to quickly show you is this amazing dashboard. So you can use all of that data and surface it up in reports with talk to listen ratios, who's receiving coaching, and more. So now that we've seen the power, I want to talk to you a little bit about what are some best practices. So first, you need to connect your audio and video recorder. These are the providers that we're currently supporting, but we're always looking to add more. The next thing you need to do is assign those permission sets and ask your sellers to record their calls. This is a big misconception. Einstein Conversation Insights does not record calls for you. It only analyzes those recorded calls. So you need to make sure to communicate that to your teams. And the last thing that we want to talk to you about is driving that coaching culture. Einstein Conversation Insights really allows you to turn your sellers into power sellers. Just like athletes review game tape, so should your sales teams. I'm going to quickly show you setup because it's a little complicated, but all you need to do is go into setup and type in Einstein Conversation Insights. You have the ability to turn it on, enable, and connect your voice and video recordings of your choosing. We have a few recommended settings that we suggest you turn on, including that related record matching that takes calls and automatically relates them to the opportunities or accounts. The one thing I want to point out is the insights I mentioned. I told you that there were some that were out of the box, but they were also customizable. So let's see how you can do that. If you click Setup, Call Insights comes up. And you can configure the exact keywords you want your organization to watch out for. And not only in English, we support 36 languages for ECI. So what you do is you just click on one of these insights and you can add keywords. So we've put in our own competitors like HubSpot and Microsoft, but you can tailor that to your own organization. One other quick call out is the Call Summary and Call Explorer are part of Einstein for Sales. So if you want to configure that, you should go to the Einstein for Sales tab and actually turn on Call Summaries and turn on Call Explorer. That's all for me on ECI, and I want to pass it on to my colleague Asal to talk about Copilot.
Hi, everyone. I'm sure you all have heard a lot about Copilot. It's the main topic, more specifically for this TDX. Thank you for being here. My name is Asali Luch, and I run the product for Sales Copilot. So here we're going to go through some demo and best practices in terms of how you can enable the Copilot. So I know that there were a lot of different workshop and session on Copilot, how to set up your Copilot, how to leverage the standard action, how to build your own custom action. So we're going to focus mostly on the sales side of the house. The one thing that I want to draw your attention is that the Copilot is the conversational assistant that we have built on top of Salesforce CRM. And this Copilot, for sales specifically, is leveraging the existing Einstein 1 platform to power up all of the flow and prompts and everything that is available in the Sales Console in the CRM. So the main reason for why we are enabling the Sales Copilot, we know that more than 70% of the time is spent from seller perspective on the non-selling activity. So we are powering this Sales Copilot to boost the productivity. My colleague showed you across the embedded app, there are clicks. Yes, we're proactively serving you insight from Call Explorer and whatnot, but what you saw today is going to be available in the Copilot. So we are replacing clicks with conversation with the goal to open a space and time for sellers so that they can focus on selling more than doing all these activities. The one beauty of Copilot that's, you've been seeing multiple Copilots available. Everyone is building Copilot. What is very, very crucial and different from Salesforce perspective, one is the trust layer. But everything, the data is your data, the Copilot, before we send anything to LLM, is going through that trust layer to make sure that your data is masked. And then the second power of Copilot is the customization. For over 2 decades, you've been using Salesforce CRM to customize the workflow and everything to your own need. So we've taken that approach while building the Copilot as well. Here are some of the actions. The way we refer to actions are the type of jobs to be done on a day-to-day basis for the seller. And focusing on boosting the productivity, we have figured there are things that sellers do on a day-to-day basis. So we've prioritized sales email. Now, you've seen how with Einstein, with one click, you can build and draft a sales email. And guess what? Now you can do that with a few conversations right from the Copilot, which I'm going to show it to you. The other thing that we're working is summarization of all of your CRM objects, more specifically sales related. Let's say your opportunity, your accounts, your contact. You can just talk to Copilot and say, summarize Acme, or summarize that contact and where I stand. And it will bring magically everything to you. The other thing that my colleague Lise showed you, the Call Explorer. So within, by end of March, we are launching Call Explorer in the Copilot right side panel window. So you no longer even need to go to the embedded app. If you are in a hurry, if the seller is in a hurry, they can just ask Copilot, was there a mention of such and such competitor? And then Copilot is just going to magically bring that to you. Forecast guidance, close plan, and meeting prep and follow-up are the other features that are coming later in April. I think it's hidden. So what I had in here is that the Copilot that is available right now in a beta, it is inclusive of the Copilot Studio, which has the prompt builder, the action builder, and bringing your own LLM model. So let's go now and do a quick demo of what we just talked about. Let's say my favorite screen is the seller homepage. You may have customized it to your own need, but we're starting the day here. We looked at, we come to the seller homepage, we trigger the Einstein Copilot, and I just want to understand what my top deals are. Where do I need to put my focus and attention? So I can simply type, show my top deals. It's going to take a few moments. More specifically, the one tip that I have noticed, if you are asking for listicle information where Copilot needs to do its magic behind the scene and summarize multiple records, multiple objects, multiple activity, it will take a few seconds. But look at that. Instead of going through each and every single pages for opportunity to read what is the amount, what stage are they at, it just surfaces up to you. And each of these links are going to be clickable. The one thing that I want to draw your attention, because of this view is condensed, we have prioritized top 3 deals based on the stage, based on the amount, and you have the ability to even customize what you want to prioritize. So you can do that all through the prompt builder that I will show you later on. And if you need to know more, you just click View More, which will take you basically into all of the opportunity. And here we have, I believe there is a limitation of up to 50 that we show in here from a Copilot window perspective, and then you need to go to the embedded app. But let's say now we talk about how Copilot is conversational. Let's say I want to know more about the second one. So I'm going to ask, summarize second one. It's doing the magic behind the scene. Summarization is taking a little longer because we want to make sure that we're surfacing the right information. But what it does, behind the scene, it goes and looks for in the activity timeline, it looks at all of the recent activity that has happened, and just magically it brings me the information that where I need to put my attention. I can copy this and add it to notes, or even send it to my colleagues. One thing that we're working on is that we know that sellers are working not necessarily in the CRM. So we're integrating Copilot in everywhere and across the productivity app, which comes later on this year, Teams, Slack, so on and so forth. So this would be a great use case where they can copy and communicate with their colleague. So now let's say I want to send an email for this specific opportunity. Draft an email. In some cases, it automatically goes and drafts the email, and in some cases, if the query is ambiguous, it comes back and reconfirms with you, and which is what happened here. So it's asking me, what is this in regards to? I'm going to ask for meeting time. So we always consider to have the human in the loop. This is very, very important from a trust perspective because we don't want to make any guesses. We're going back and asking the user what the email would be in regards to. As you can see, it came back, wrote an email. It is politely looking at bringing the context from CRM in terms of what the stage we are on, what happened before, and asking for the time to meet. From here, you can copy, or you just can simply say, send an email. Right now, what you cannot do in the Copilot panel is that you cannot send a reply directly from the Copilot, or you cannot edit and modify it from the panel. So we're redirecting you into the email inbox so that you can modify and send it from here. So the one thing that I wanted to, we saw that how from a end user perspective it works. And we talk about, we have the prompt builder, we have the action builder, and we also have bring your own LLM model. So quickly on the setup, there are two types of copilots that are available. One, when you get the copilot through the Einstein 1 platform, you get all of these capabilities. But what comes out of the box is the standard action. And what I mean by a standard action, I'm going to show it to you, are the type of action and the core capability that's built by us. For example, query, find, update CRM, or even draft and revise an email. We provide the basic generic functionality, and the beauty is that we also give you capabilities such as prompt builder, action builder, for you to customize all of those a standard object. So let's say right now, from the setup, I just opened the setup, I look for Copilot. You have the entire Copilot Studio, which is in beta, and I will go to the Copilot action. And from the action library, I will be presented with a list of actions that are assigned to this org and this Copilot. So as you can see, from a reference action type, you have the standard action, and then you have the custom action. The custom action could be your flow, Apex, or prompt builder, which will be notified in here. And if you click on any of these, you would be able to go through process of updating that. Let's say we have gone through, can I just get the presentation? Let's say we have gone through and updating these actions. I'm not going to do it here because I broke the environment yesterday, so I have a slide to walk you through that. So let's say I went and I wanted to kind of configure and revise some of these records that was related to the summarization record. I would go, based on what I showed you, you go to the action, you find the related action, which is the summarized record and a standard action, and then you basically go over updating that. Once you go through that, you'll be presented with a window of like, which type do you want to use? Do you want to use Apex, Flow, or Prompt Template? And later I'll show you like what is the difference between each of this. But let's say that we're choosing the Prompt Template, and from there you basically create description. This is super important to have a description for when you're defining these actions. Because before, you may have given a loose description, but right now, these descriptions are being used by the LLM to return the result for you. So it's very critical and important to have a description that's precise and clear so that you give the LLM those instructions. I'm going to go quickly through this. Once you create your action, the action is going to be shown in the Copilot action library. It will be tagged under new, but you have a few more steps to do. You will need to go back to the Copilot Studio and Builder and basically look for that action within the library. You have a Copilot action library and assign and activate that action on the Copilot library, and then you'll be able to basically use that. So some best practices for building those custom action is, first and foremost, look what is available to you. Start your journey from the standard action, from the action library, what the standard actions are available, look at the description, what do they do, what instruction are they sending to the LLM, and then determine if you want to modify those standard action or create a net new custom action. And the reason for that is, which is like basically the 4-point, we're trying to focus on the quality rather than the quantity, because too many action with too many similarities is just going to end up confusing the brain of the Copilot and the LLM. And the second thing is that understanding the use cases and understanding the goal that the user want to achieve. I've shown you that the reason for Sales Copilot that we're building this is to boost productivity so that seller can have more time, close more deals. So the mental model that's going to help is like, if I bring this certain action into Copilot, is it going to make the job of the seller better? Can they access and retrieve information faster or simpler? If the answer is yes, then by all means, create the custom action or enhance the standard action. The third thing is, once you create those actions, it's super important to identify some of the utterances. Think through what is the conversational way someone would ask a Copilot or an AI to summarize something or draft an email. And make sure that you include those in your instruction to LLM. And the last thing is, I mentioned that, quality over quantity. You can create hundreds of actions. But it's super critical to just look at what are the goals that you want to achieve. Is it helping the user retrieve information faster? And is it making their job better and simpler? With all of that, we're super excited for you to try it. There are means to provide feedback. We're still early. We're very proud of what we have achieved. And this is still a day one for us when it comes to Copilot. Thank you.